How are we doing, everybody?
Hola,
Welcome to another episode of Getting Jiggly with It. I'm Lou.
I'm Audrey.
And what are we playing today?
We're playing Chateau.
Is that how you say it in French?
Yes.
Exactly like that? Oui.
Comme ça.
So
Chateau.
Audrey does habla español y francés. Mi no habla inglés muy bien. So this is Chateau. This is currently up on Kickstarter. It is a print and play roll and write tetriomenal game. Yeah, that's what it is. So we'll go ahead and flip over the camera and give you a quick rundown of how the game plays. And then I guess we will play a game for you guys. So we are kind of set up. We've got a earthquake here. We are kind of set up for a two-player game of Chateau. And why is that?
Because there are two
We're builders, I guess.
builders.
We're building our chateaus. Would you like to know the overview of what we are?
Yes.
Maybe I should give you the flavor text before I ask you what we are.
Yes.
In Chateau, you are architects of the beautiful historical landmark. Players will construct the blueprint of an architectural masterpiece by simultaneously placing shapes on their board. Each player has a unique chateau with a special bonus to use to their advantage. First player to mark off all spaces in the chateau wins the game.
We are two architects.
We are two architects making blueprints and floor plans. So as you can see here, we do have two of the available chateaus. I did print them front and back for us, so that way we would have an options when we play. But there is great art that's normally on the back. Oddly, he hasn't seen it, so that's going to be fun for first impressions. But they do have an actual picture, an artist rendering on the back of each one of the actual chateaus. All right, but as you can see here, we each have our player board. On our player board on the left side are a bunch of numbers with some polynomial shapes. On the right side, we're going to have a special ability. We're going to have a single die spot for a catapult. And then we have a 6 die spot for, I don't know what they call them, just items. I guess they're just items. Treasures is what we'll say. And then my board here doesn't have it, but Oddities does. And that is the hammer, which is also an action. So on the turn or on the round, we're going to roll both dice. Everybody uses the same 2 dice. If you roll a 1, you have to use that first, which is the catapult. What the catapult allows you to do is you fill in 1 square of your opponent. It cannot be the hammer. So it's basically a way for you to try to mess up their spacing to make it harder for them to complete their board. If we roll any other number under 6, then you're going to be able to place one of the corresponding tiles, the tetriomenal, polyomino tiles, into your tableau or into your blueprint. A 6 allows you to mark off all of a particular item, treasure that you want. So say if I chose the treasure chest, I'd be able to mark off all of my treasure chests. All right. The objective of the game is to try to complete the entire thing first. There is a second place, but I'm not sure why there's second place in games. I keep looking over there instead of there. I've been doing that for the last couple streams for some reason. I think it's habit because I'm doing all those unboxings now, and I have to look over there to see what I'm looking
maybe.
at. Yeah. Now a key thing with the actual 1 through 5, the 1 and the 2 can be used an infinite amount of times. The 4 and 5 are single use, so you can only lay each one of these tiles one at a time. So now to start the game, we do need to choose our board. So I will let Adri choose one of the 4 boards. So this board here allows her to take 2 items every time a 6 is rolled. This board here, every time you cover up a hammer, you get to knock out 2 spots instead of just 1. This board here, 3 times during the game, you can upgrade a 2 to a 4. And then this board here has some swans down here on the board. So basically, either during the game or at the end of the game, you can just mark off 2 of your swans and not have to worry about covering them up. Because a swan is not a normal item in the 6 count. So you would have to cover up the swans and then use that to get maybe 2 more. So you want the swans, the dice increase, the double hammers, or the double 6s.
This one, Chateau de Versailles.
And let me just double check that is what that means. It is +1 to the items. So in the back, they do have the full description. There is on the Kickstarter, there's a base game. There's the United Kingdom expansion, the Scandinavia expansion, and then they have an all-in bundle where you can get pretty much everything. Again, it's a print and play game, so it's really cheap to get the whole thing. So you are what? What was that one? Chateau
de Versailles.
de Versailles. Say it in francés, por favor.
Chateau de Versailles.
Much better. You have one more of each item in your chateau.
Huh? One more of each. Oh, so I don't mark one more. I just add one. So if I mark the chair, I have 5
1, 2,
chairs?
3, 4 chairs.
So yeah.
Yeah, well that doesn't make sense
That
because
does not give me 5.
here it says for items, for each rolled 6, choose one item and mark it on your chateau board. Then mark all spaces with the same item icon on your board. You choose the chest and mark off on the right side of your board. Yeah, I'm kind of confused how that's supposed to
For
work.
example, a 6 is rolled. You choose
Yeah, you choose the chest and then you marked off all the chests.
mark
So-
it up on the right side of your chart.
Yeah, let's not play that one because I'm not sure if that one is correct. If the description here is correct. It says you have one more of each item in your chateau, but that shouldn't matter because if you have a 6...
You cover everything.
well, that makes sense because you have one more of each in your chateau. When you cover them, you're covering up one additional space. That it just means that, like, if I was to get, okay, the treasure chest, I'm only marking off 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3. When you get the treasure chest, you'll mark off 4 spaces. So you'll technically cover up more spaces because of that. That's what it means by having one more. So okay, that makes sense then. All of that
I
just
didn't understand.
so the benefit of a 6 is you get to mark off a space, right? If I get a 6, I mark off 1, 2, 3 because I have 3. You mark off that same thing on a 6, you're going to mark off 1, 2, 3, 4. You get to mark off one more space. Remember, the objective of this game is to fill up every space.
So I don't really worry about this. I just mark
Yeah, you still mark
everything
them off.
that.
Yeah, it's just telling you have one more space that you're going to mark off.
Okay.
So you're going to fill up more spaces when you get 6s.
Okay.
This one allows you to kind of do the same thing because every time you cover up a hammer, you'll get to mark off 2 spaces instead of 1. I'd imagine they're all pretty balanced. Like I said, this allows you to upgrade the dice. This, though, only can really come in handy until you run out of force. Because once you run out of 4s, that's not going to be handy anymore. And then this one basically same thing. It's just giving you the ability to mark off some extra spaces for free, which are those swans. So you can do that, or you can just look at the shape, see which shape you like better. Let me double check on that one, the Buckingham Palace.
This one is kind of difficult. This corner here.
Up
This
to
one
3
is-
times when
I
the
want
2 is rolled, you may
rich.
choose to draw a
Chateau
4 shape
Versailles.
instead. Mark off the, yeah, so you still mark off the shape you used. All right, so she is going with that. I don't think I want to use Buckingham. So I guess we'll stick with the way that we had it. So we'll try to keep these in frame for you guys. Right? Normally we would roll this thing over here to see who goes first. But unfortunately, this game is a simultaneous action. So once Oddlity's done drinking, she'll tell you about this wonderful thing right here. Oh, you want to actually hold it? Okay, you can hold it while you talk about
This
it.
is the 20-sided extra life die for Children's Miracle Network because we support the niños with donations, and you can also support them using the links down below and donate money para los niños.
Para los niños. So the donations from our generous supporters on the channel and through Extra Life. Click that link down below. Donate early, donate often. That is my saying. Para los niños. All right, I guess we can just we got lots of Extra Life stuff up here today.
This is heavy.
Well, no,
and...
we're not gonna roll it.
All right, we are not.
We're not. It's simultaneous. I just said, put it right there. Now it's in frame. We have something on that side of the table now. But yeah, I guess you can roll first. You want to roll first? Oh, but before we begin, before we roll, I do get to draw a 5 shape on your board. Now, does it say players may not mark a hammer with the shape? Now, it does not say that uses that shape up, though. Yeah, it doesn't say that uses that shape up. So we each get to draw one of the 5 shapes somewhere on their board. But you can't cover up a hammer. So I'm going to cover up. I'm going to do one. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do a cross right here. I'm getting rid of all your
Why are you so mean?
Well, they don't do anything. I think that's a good spot to put a shape. I was going to put it here.
I was also going to do the same cross.
Oh, that's fine. They're the same cross. As long as it doesn't cover up a hammer, you're good to go.
It can be any
any one of those shapes. Mm-hmm.
Flip it and all that.
Flip, rotated, all of the above. Ironically, the game setup shows the same shape is used.
I can't only cover 2.
What do you mean? Well, no, you don't have to cover the items. That's just what I did. They don't have to cover
so
the
I
items.
don't collect them.
No. It doesn't do anything. There's no points in this game. There's no point in this game. There's a single point in this game, and that's to cover up your entire chateau. So you want to try to make it to where it's hard for me to be able to fill up spots. So for example, if you leave a bunch of little 1 spots by themselves, that's going to be hard for me to complete that, right?
I did it easy.
Yeah. All right. So now we swap. All right. You got to put it back up with the camera. Awesome camera. it's way up there. I guess we can come down about here-ish. There, we'll put the dice tray there so we know where the edge is. All right. Now I'll do a roll. We have a 1 and a 2. So we have to resolve the 1 first. So I am shooting a catapult over to you. I'm going to put it right there. And then you have to shoot a catapult over to me. Basically, again, you want to make it hard for me to... At the beginning of the game, it's... I don't want to say at the beginning of the game it's hard to decide, but it's hard to decide because, I've still got every shape. Like later in the game, it's easier because you're like, oh, all you got is an L. I'm going to ruin the ability for you to use that L, right? All right. And then our other one is a 2, so we get to put a 2 anywhere we want on our own. So, I don't know if I want to do my hammers yet. I think it's too early to do any hammers. Hammer time. Da, da, da. But it's got to be the actual 2 shape, so it's not like you can just put 2 out there. All right. And I'll let you keep rolling. Technically, you're supposed to switch, but Audrey likes to roll dice.
5 y 3.
3 and a 5. And you can do them in any order. The only time you have to do a specific order is the catapult. Catapult has to be done first. All right, so the 3 is easy. It's an L. So that actually, I'll do it up here. Put my L. And then a 5. And now this, again, you only get to use it once. Whichever 5 you choose. So I'm going to do it here. All right.
Wait, this one.
No, I'm going to mark off the one that I used. So I use this one. I used my T. No tengo más té.
Oh, no. Hammer I can cover now?
Yeah, if you want to. And then if you cover your hammer, then that's going to allow you to mark off one spot.
I wanted to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
See,
2,
5.
3, 4, 5. Okay. Now I mark
mark off the shape that you use, because remember you can only use that shape once. No, and now you mark a single space somewhere on your board. It can be a hammer again. You technically could go hammer to hammer to hammer to hammer and just keep getting all your hammers if you wanted. But right now you get to mark off 1 free space, basically.
Just 1?
Just 1. I've got the one that gets to do 2. That's my ability. For
so
you,
just
you
one square?
One square. Mm-hmm. Anywhere on your board. That's why I said at the beginning, using the hammers might not be as good of an idea because you need them later to knock out random spots. Like, I know I'm going to have to use a hammer for this. I mean, that's kind of like a foregone conclusion. Let me double check that Alhambra allows me to just do 2. Okay, 2 spaces anywhere on the board. I want to make sure it was 2 spaces anywhere on my board, and it wasn't like I had to do the 2 space.
Here, I don't know.
All right.
Are we marking the
All right.
table?
The table is no longer for anything other than games. Remember, we have a nice table out in the dining room.
Sí, pero...
I know. Okay. We also have, I think we have replacements of these somewhere. Roll the die. All right, so 1 is a catapult.
Un catapult.
So I'm just going to do right here because that'll make that more difficult, I think, for you. We got all of our 5s at the beginning. We won't have any left to do.
No, your thing is easy.
I have 2 courtyards in the middle. I mean, I've got all these corners I got to go around. Don't know how much he's play tested. I don't know how often they've done these designs and stuff like this to say, okay, this is how many this goes, this how many, whether the player boards are actually balanced. I would think a lot of play testing has gone in to see if they're balanced. And then we have a 5. Ooh, no roll. Then we have a 5. Not a 5. Where did you just put that? Oh, you put it here. So I'm going to use this one. So 1, 2, 5, which is this one here. And then I did my hammer, so I get to mark off 2 spots. Mark off 1 there. And 1 there.
I did my book. So I marked
Books
nothing.
Yeah, the only thing you have activate from doing a shape is the hammers. All right, you can mark off whichever one you drew. Right. Roll again.
3 y 2.
2 and 3. Okay, so you get to put a 2 and a 3. These are good because they go around corners for me. 3. And I'll just finish the corner. 1.
Oh, I can't do that. Chun chun and then chun chun.
Chun chun and chun chun.
Chun chun.
That's the sound it makes when you move around things. Chun and chun. Chun chun.
Chun. Chun.
All right.
Oh wait, I didn't do my 2. Did you do both?
That was your 3. Yeah, I already did both. Right now, I'm not really concerned with where I'm putting things. I'm just kind of filling in around the corners. Kind of keeping everything tight together. I'm hoping a 6 comes up and that'll knock these out. Otherwise, I'll use my hammers. Hammer time. Dun, 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 dun. Can't touch this. Ooh, 6 and 1. So we have to catapult first. So I'm going to catapult. Catapult here. All right. And then we have a 6. That means now you get to choose one of these. So I'm going to choose I don't know.
And mark all.
Yeah, you mark them all. I'm going to do my candelabra.
I can do
2. I should have 3 candelabras. 3.
Oh, I already marked those, but I guess
Oh,
that's
you're
not
already
the best.
marking your chests.
No, what are these?
Because you're yeah, well, the problem is I can't push it back. Is it in your face right there? It won't go back because you got to twist that, yeah, and then it should slide back. There you go. There you go. Muy bien, gracias. ¿Y tú? Mine's already completely out because it's further away from the table. All right. Yeah, you marked off all your shapes?
Please, see.
And then you marked here just to show that you've already got it. All right. Roll again. 5 and 6. So we get to do a shape of a 5 and we get to do the 6. You can do it in either order. So me, I think I'm going to do my 5 or my 6 first. I'm going to do the rings because that might determine where I do my 5. So I've got all my rings done. And what 5s do I have left? How about a plus? I got that zigzag that you had. I'll do
So for
zigzag.
5, that
2, 3, 4, 5. And that got me a hammer. Hammer time. Dun, 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 dun. I kind of left this book in a weird spot. Can I get that book now? Yeah, I'm gonna get this book now. So
and one of these.
I'll do 2, I think.
So you cannot, if you mark one of these, you cannot place a tile there.
No, you just cover them up. It doesn't matter. You cover them up either by placing a polyomino, or you cover them up by getting a 6.
Right, but if I already got a 6 and I mark it, I cannot place the piece won't fit there anymore.
Correct. A 4 won't fit there anymore if you do that. Yeah.
It's the only one I have left.
Oh, you chose the... No, you have another candelabra there.
See.
All right. And you already did your 5 shape?
Sí.
You mark it off?
Sí.
Okay, it was your L. Okay. It was Audrey's L. L.
6 y 3.
Another 6. All right, so... I was thinking, oh, we're not going to get a lot of 6s. Do I have any more hammers? I do have another hammer. Okay. Because I was thinking, like, if I get rid of this, then I'm going to have this 1, but I do have a hammer. Yeah, so I'm going to do my treasure chests with my 6. 1, 2, 3. I have 3 of each, right? You have 4 of each. All right. And then with 3 is that little L shape. So I'll do this corner, I guess. 1, 2, 3.
We cannot do that. The chest or the rings? Chest or rings? Chest or rings? Chest or rings?
Kinda
What is this? Nothing?
Nothing. It's just the doors and the windows. Just this, it's supposed to look like an actual floor plan. So when you have an actual floor plan, this is the shape that's drawn for like windows and doors. Right. You did your 3 already?
Yeah.
All right. Roll again. Yeah, me and you go backwards. I do these first, and then
Did I do my 3?
3 would have been a little L.
No, I started with a 6.
Okay, so you still got to do your little L. I mean, an easy way to find out is to count the number of spaces we have left. 1, 2, 3. Well, no, that's not going to work because you have more items that you're covering up, and I've got more hammers. Can't count. I mean, technically, we should be about even. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got like 15 empty.
23.
Yeah, so you didn't do your 3 yet.
My memory is
Muy malo.
mal.
All right. So what do we got? We got a
Cuatro?
4 and a 3. Yeah, that's our first 4. Again, that 3 again.
You're gonna do mi 4.
So I'll do 1, 2, 3. And for my 4, I'll do the square. 2, 4. And mark that off. All right. I got a bunch of 1s left. So if you cannot place a shape, right? So if there's no shape that you can place, or no, the number doesn't work for you, then you are allowed to, you basically just place 1 tile. That's another way to get a single filled up. I was thinking, oh, I needed my hammer, but technically I don't need my hammer to do that. All right. 6 and a 2. Okay, what have I got left? I got 1 chair left. I got 1
6 again.
vase left, or chalice. I guess it really doesn't matter. So I think I'm gonna do a chair because it's kind of down here by itself. So that's my last chair.
This one is not.
Okay. And then my 2. I'll do this, these 2.
Yeah.
All right. Turno.
Oh my god,
1
only
and a
6s.
6. So I have to cannonball you, and you have to cannonball me. Well, now it's at a point where it really doesn't matter. So I'm going to cannonball this book.
That's mean then.
I know it is. All I've got are 1s. And then we have the 6, and neither one of us now have anything we can get because I just covered up your last one, and I can't do anything either. Oh, you do have some left. Dang it.
No, pero I was.
Oh yeah, then you already crossed off your so that your chair should be gone. And hammers don't count. So because I got rid of your book, which was your last one.
Yeah.
And then I didn't have any left. All right, so 6 doesn't do any good.
Why did I mark this hammer?
Because you covered it, and then when you marked the hammer, you
see,
got
that was the
1
first
freebie.
one.
Yeah, you got 1 freebie, right? Yeah, that was your first one. Yeah, because you still have all your hammers left.
Those.
I've only got 1 hammer left. Okay, roll. 6 doesn't do anything because neither one of us can use it.
4 y 5.
4 and a 5. I can't use either one of those. So if you can't use the dice, then you get 1 instead.
So I can do this one now.
Yes, you could do that one, and then that gives you 1 more.
No.
So I can do the same thing though. I'm going to hit this hammer, and then that allows me to hit 2, 1, 2.
So you use mark like a mark 4 total, or what?
No, you mark, if you can't use that die, you mark 1 spot. So if you mark your hammer, that'll give you 1 more spot. So now you can mark 1 spot. Which again, you should probably do your, well, that's fine.
The other hammer?
Well, I'll do that with your other die. So your other die, you'd hit that hammer, which gives you 1 more spot. And then for the 5, I'm going to mark this one here, and I win.
Yeah, you had
by one
left.
spot. There was only 1 spot left. That was it. That was close. Even though earlier it was 15 to 20, it was still close because you still had all your hammers. I had already done all my hammers pretty much. So there we go, guys. That is a quick little game showing you guys how to play Chateau. Now we're going to go ahead and give you guys our first impressions. So there we go. The first thing is components. Now, of course, we can't talk about component quality because we provide 90% of the game. Our component quality, because of our Hewlett-Packard color laser printer, muy bien. Colombian markers and Pokemon dice, right? But no, what we can comment on is the graphics and the colors and the rule book and everything like that. What did you think of all of the components, at least that they created?
Well, I like that they are different. There are different options to choose from.
Different player boards, different abilities.
Yeah, the abilities, that everything is in there.
Mm-hmm.
So
the icons are real clear.
Yeah.
Another thing that, again, we always talk about because of taking games down to Colombia, it is language independent, which we've seen a lot of the print and play rolling rights are, because they are made from people internationally. So they're making them language independent. The only thing that's language dependent is the rule book, right? That you get. And as long as one person knows how to play the game, you're good to go. Now, I like the graphics. I like the iconography. Everything is easy to read and understand. Everything's distinct. I do like the player boards, like you said, being different. I like the graphics. The art and the graphics are, for something as simple as this, the art and the graphics are really good. You didn't get to see the back of the boards, but it's beautiful art on the back of the boards too, if you decide to print them that way. that again is your choice. If you're going to print them and laminate them, which a lot of people do with these print and plays, then it makes sense to go ahead and do it. If you're not, then you basically just tell it to print your odd pages, and then you can basically get, 2 games in on a night. Somebody just chooses. But like I said, if you can see from, even we just holding these up, you can just see it's really well done, right? I do like this.
I only would add here the symbols like forever.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Just to remember.
That would be one thing as well. Yeah, so over here in the rule book it says you can use this infinite amount of times. I don't like the refresh symbol. I think it should be the infinity symbol. That's what most people recognize. And then it says, of course, these are 1 times use. So yeah, I think you're right on that. What Audrey said about having them next to the dice over here would help, right? So if you don't have the rule book. I understand why they didn't put the player powers on the boards, but it would be nice if it was still written there. But I guess, again, it's print and play. It'd be real easy for you to just Photoshop it in yourself once you get it, if that's a big deal to you. Same thing with these. Again, it's something easy that the developer can do, and it's language independent still. So I don't see why that would be that hard of a thing to do. Next are the mechanics. The mechanics is you roll 2 dice, you fill in some tiles, and you hope you fill in yours first.
That's one of my favorite things to do.
What? Filling
tiles
in?
And
filling in holes.
Filling in.
Audrey, we've mentioned before, has trypophobia, so of course, anytime you get to cover up and fill in holes, it makes Audrey happy. But yeah, it's very quick, very easy. The mechanics aren't very difficult to understand. We rolled a 2, you draw that shape. The little bit that takes a little bit to get, and it took you a minute to get, was what the 6 did. Like, what did that mean? And it's basically when you get a 6, you mark off all of those. So the symbols that are already on the board could be kind of confusing. It's like, well, I got all these symbols. What do they do when I cover them up?
Yep.
They don't do anything. The only thing that does anything when you cover it up is the hammer. Everything else you're just covering up to cover up. And the 6 just gives you the ability to cover them up freely.
Yeah, depending on what you need. That okay, nothing is gonna fit in there, so I should mark it.
Yeah, I should probably mark it. Yeah. So, but no, I like the mechanics. It's simple. It's straight to the point, and it works. Right.
I like it.
Next is difficulty. I put this on the lighter side. This isn't difficult at all. This is definitely entry level, probably a 1. Like on the BGG 1 to 5 scale, I'd put this at a 1.
Yeah.
The only complexity is figuring out your moves and where you want to go. But even that,
I was trying to. Flipping the tiles mentally for me is always difficult because I know some would not make the shape I want.
But I think for me, it's like even that strategy doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win in any way, shape, or form. Because I honestly won on the last roll because I couldn't use either one of the dice, and I had a hammer, 2 spaces, and another space empty. So I basically had 4 spaces empty, one of which was a hammer, and my ability allowed me to knock out 2 more spaces, and then the second dice, I knocked out the last one. But again, I only won by 1 point, right? So I'm not sure how much strategy there is there to really say that, I'm going to optimize this.
I think that I don't know. I think that you have to also think about not always obvious or easy is like when you have to affect your opponent marking the 1 spot, because if it is too early, you're gonna, you still have options.
You still have options to get around it.
Mm-hmm. If it is not too late, if it is not too early, then you kind of like what you did in here for me.
Well, and even there, like you said, it's early game, yes, bad, but even late game, bad. Like you don't want the 1 to show up early game or late game, because even late game it was like,
right.
All these are 1 spots. I'll just mark one of the 1 spots that's open. So yeah, not too difficult. Definitely a game that you can introduce to new board gamers. This is something that we would definitely be able to introduce to Audrey's parents and my parents who aren't big board gamers. Fun at 2.
I had a lot of fun.
I was fun at 2. I liked it at 2. The only difference, the player counts, is I guess as many castles as you can print out, technically.
But who affects who, or who
It's always,
marks?
you always mark the person on the left.
Okay.
So it's always the person to your right that's going to be marking your board. So that's really the only difference. But I don't think that would impact gameplay too much. The only thing that would impact gameplay at a higher player count is, of course, there's a first place and there's a second place. Like that's really the only difference, right? First place is whoever finishes first. Second place is whoever has the least number of tiles left. And then if there's a tie, it's whoever only used one die in the previous round. Although I don't understand how that would work, because you would still mark a single. So everybody would use 2. Other players count open spaces in their chateau, compare scores, tie. One player used only one of the 2 dice in the final round. That player wins. Yeah, so I'm not sure, right? I'm not sure how somebody would not have used both. Oh, I guess if you're not using the dice to mark a 1, I'm guessing is what it means by that, right? If you cannot or do not wish to use the dice, you can mark a single space instead, unless the result is a 1. Also, actually, we could have on the 6. We could have done that as well. So it says the only time you can't is if it's a 1. So when we couldn't mark off because of the not having any items to mark off for the 6, we could have marked 1 space on that as well.
Oh, that would help a lot.
So that would be an instance of not using the space and just marking off a space. You weren't using the die. So yeah, that would make sense. Is okay, the last round, somebody used 1 die and then didn't use the other die, but still marked 1 spot. Then they would win if there was a tie, because they didn't use both dice. All right. Last thing is the theme. So the theme is you've got a blueprint and you are trying to build the blueprint for the big old castles, I guess. Visually, thematically, I get it. Like we noticed the little windows, you noticed the windows and doors in the blueprint. The aesthetics of like, this is a castle and a blueprint, I get that. I don't feel like I'm building a blueprint. I'm just marking off tiles. I feel like it's more like a tile laying game. And the odd thing is right now there's another roll and write game out for making blueprints, and that's the Mad King Ludwig roll and write game. So we're getting Mad King Ludwig big old deluxeified edition. But we've played Between Two Castles, which is a merging of Between Two Cities and Mad King Ludwig. That to me, it just visually, I didn't play it, and I've just seen it. That it looks like you're actually drawing blueprints.
Okay.
So I think that one thematically there would fit better. This one, I think the thematics is just in the visuals, and this one is prettier than the Mad King Ludwig. Also, this one you can print and play at your home for pennies on the dollar. The other one you're buying, I think, a full game. It's not a print and play. So, what did you think about the theme?
The same. I mean, I like the theme. I like the buildings, like palace and castles and that.
And saying things in French.
and I think it is beautiful too. I mean, these items match the theme as well. But I didn't feel either. I forgot English. That
you didn't
I
feel
was
like,
building.
like you're not making rooms.
Exactly.
Like if you were building out the floor plan, like it said in the overview, you would be making rooms, and that's what Mad King Ludwig, I think, lets you make rooms. So it's a mixed theme, but again, I don't know why I'm comparing it to another game that's up on Kickstarter. You can go check them both out. You decide for yourself. We're not promoting one game or the other, right? We're just playing this because the publisher asked us to play it. It's always good to support an indie publisher, but that is your choice if you like the theme or not. If they want to watch more roll and write print and play gameplays, what do they need to do?
Subscribe, activate notifications, and follow us on social media.
You gotta do that too.
And
all that stuff. Well, until next time, guys.
Adios.
Peace.